How many gurus do you see online that look like they've built the perfect business, effortlessly made a fortune, never hit obstacles, and now flex on you like it was easy? Probably a lot. But the truth is, growth isn't linear. You're going to face challenges, you're going to plateau, and you will make mistakes. The difference is these guys will never admit it, because it ruins the lifestyle fantasy they're trying to sell you. You won't hear about the setbacks, failures, and wrong moves they've made. But I've made plenty, and they cost me time, money, and momentum. So instead of pretending I've got a flawless track record, I'm going to break down the biggest mistakes I made when I first started operating for businesses. The things that slowed me down more than anything, and how you can avoid falling into the same traps. The first mistake I made as a new growth operator was outsourcing too early. At the time, I thought I was being efficient. I hired people to write copy, handle parts of the sales process, even media buying, because that's what I thought a real business owner does. But here's the problem. By outsourcing those things, I set myself back months. And those are the skills you need most. If you don't know how to build a sales process yourself, you'll never be able to train and manage a closer. If you don't know media buying, you'll never know if your ads team are performing or burning your money. Without that first-hand experience, you're going in blind. On top of that, it crushed my margins. I was just starting out, barely making income, and I was paying out most of what I earned to contractors. I felt like I was doing the right thing, but in reality, I was slowing down my growth and bleeding cash. And here's the kicker. When you outsource work without understanding it yourself, your team won't respect you. You can't manage them, you can't hold them accountable, and you definitely can't step in when things break. That's not leverage, that's dependency. The right time to outsource is when you've learned the skill yourself, have a process built around it, and comfortably have the cash flow to hand it off. That way, you know what good actually looks like, and you can manage effectively without getting taken advantage of. And the reason I outsourced in the first place was so I could handle more volume. I thought the key was signing as many creators as possible and spreading my time across them. But that was my mistake number 2. I should have spent my time focusing on 1 or 2 high-quality partnerships rather than many different creators. Let me explain why that shift in mindset completely changed my results. Back then, I thought the key was volume. More creators, more money. Makes sense, right? So I started stacking clients, trying to juggle as many as I could. But the problem was, I wasn't going deep with any of them. I was doing enough to keep them moving, but never building real results and never mastering their business. And here's the worst part. When you don't put in the work, clients leave. I was stuck in this constant cycle of churn. One client would drop and I'd scramble to get another, rinse, repeat. I felt busy, but I wasn't actually moving forward. That's when it hit me. Chasing volume isn't growth, and it's not even close. The truth is, you don't need 10 clients to change your life. 1 or 2 high quality clients where you actually go all in, learn their business inside and out, and actually drive real results. That's what builds income, authority, and momentum. Looking back at it, trying to do too much at once cost me so much time. Once I started shifting the focus to depth, everything changed. My results got better, my income got steadier, and honestly, I actually started enjoying the work. Before I dive into the final biggest mistake I made, if you're currently making less than 20k a month and want a guaranteed creator that will scale together, then check the link in the description to apply to work with me directly. And so, here's mistake number 3, not tracking results and data properly. Even after I started focusing on a few high quality clients, I was still flying blind. I was making changes, tweaking the sales process, running campaigns, testing strategies, but I wasn't tracking which parts were actually working. I was guessing, relying on gut feelings, and just hoping things improved. The problem with that is huge. It's like taking water on in a boat and having no idea where the holes are. You know something's leaking, but you can't fix it because you don't know the source. You could spend hours or even days focusing on the wrong things that don't move the needle, and meanwhile, the real problem keeps getting worse. Without knowing your KPIs or data, you won't know which parts of the business need attention. You don't know which processes to optimize, which campaigns to double down on, and where your team needs guidance. Everything becomes a shot in the dark. And I'm not just talking about the basic numbers. You need thorough insights into each area. For example, with closing, of course you need to know your show rates and close rates, but you also need to know your most common objections so you can try and handle them in the pre-call process, your average sales price, and all the small details that you can work to improve. With lead generation, you need to know which sources are bringing qualified prospects and which are just wasting your time. Without this level of detail, you're guessing, and guessing doesn't build results. The fix is simple. Track the numbers that actually matter, but track them deeply. Understand each area of your business. Figure out what is actually moving the needle and focus your efforts there. That's how you stop spinning in circles and start making consistent, measurable progress. Those were the 3 mistakes I made as a new growth operator, which slowed me down from seeing real results sooner. If you want to see the systems which actually have generated me good results, then check out the rest of my YouTube videos where I break everything down.